Welcome to the Energy Star Talk, Kelly Clarkson.
Thank you for having me.
How are you actually?
I'm great. Things are going awesome, knock on wood.
And I guess it's an interview marathon that you're doing every day.
Yes, we've done a lot of interviews, but luckily I'm pretty good at talking, so it's my favorite pastime.
And are you still counting?
Counting interviews? No, I don't count them. I generally do like people and I like talking, so that helps. So
how is it actually to be back in Berlin, to be back in Germany?
I love Germany. Germany is actually the first place I visited outside the United States when I was younger, when I was a kid. We did like a school trip. So this is one of my first experiences outside the US. So I've always loved Germany. I've had a fascination. It's beautiful, especially the countryside. Like you're flying in, it's beautiful.
And do you have some time to see some of the city?
I've been to Berlin a few times, probably more than a few. So I've done all the sightseeing, things that people do, that tourists do. But my kids and my husband and our nannies, this is their first time to Berlin. So they're out seeing the zoo, the museum, the Berlin Wall. They're doing the whole thing. So what are your favorite places here in Germany, here in Berlin? This sounds like such an artist answer, but I actually love just doing shows. I think one time we did a club show here that was pretty rad. I always love performing and having the fans come. I love sightseeing. I think the architecture in Europe is beautiful because it's obviously a lot older than the architecture in the US. So that's always a cool thing to visit, either the cathedrals or just the buildings in general. I've just been here for so long that aesthetically it's just a beautiful city. But yeah, no, my favorite thing is obviously doing shows, and I love all the fans in different countries and how they their accents with the lyrics and the songs is awesome.
And you've got 2 kids now. Is it difficult doing promotion, going on tour, doing your job?
We have 4 kids total, and we always have the 2 younger ones with us. So that can be difficult. I mean, I think any mom can relate to having to be a working mom, having a business and then also loving your family and wanting to hang out with them. It's always kind of a seesaw of, balancing act kind of thing. But I don't know. I think we do it well. We have a really great group that surrounds us, that helps us. Our kid, my 3-year-old, can be a little manipulative at times and be like, why does mommy have to go to work? I mean, she'll lay it on thick to make you feel bad about it sometimes. But we get enough time with them and we get to see the city, and we make sure we come like a day before, we stay a day after and get like the whole family experience too, because obviously I'm here working. So. And
do they understand what you're doing for a job, and how do they react when they see you on television?
Our 3-year-old is starting to get it. She's starting to realize, because the other day I was putting her to bed, and my name is actually Kelly Blackstock. That's my married name, and that's all my kids know. But she's been hearing Kelly Clarkson so much. So the other day she said, your name is Kelly Clarkson. And I was like, that's weird. Like that's really weird that she's starting to get that. And
coming to your music now, Meaning of Life is the new album. What are you the most proud of when you think about the album itself?
I think, what, I've been ready since I started to make an album that I was just really proud of, musically and vocally, like everything, like 100% me. I haven't had that yet, other than my Christmas album. I had never had that as a studio album. So this is my first time to get to pick my team to work with, and we all had the same vision, and it was just a really fun album to make, and creatively it was my favorite album to make. I got to work with a lot of people I love, and then a lot of new writers and producers I hadn't met yet, and it was just, I feel like, what the music industry ought to be, and I think sometimes people put profit over people, and so that can be a bummer to work with. So this was a really just a great process and a great musical footprint that I love, that I've had the chance to leave behind.
And did it make you more nervous when releasing the album, with a new team and everything that?
I've never been nervous putting out an album. I mean, I've had a very good head on my shoulder the whole time about it, just in the sense of like, you can't control everything. Sometimes things are going to hit and sometimes they're not. And it's not necessarily because the product was great or bad. A lot of it is timing. It's what's on the radio right now, what you're competing with, what's happening in the world that maybe a song is all of a sudden influenced, you know, the generation, you know, it speaks to, but like you just don't have a lot of control over that. You know, what you do have control over is making a product that you're proud of at the end of the day. But as far as like it being successful or not, like my whole thing with success is to make sure that I'm happy at the end of the day and I'm proud of it. And that I, you know, when I'm 60 years old, still singing these songs, that I'm, you know, proud of it. And I think that's what I base success off of.
And Love So Soft is the first single here. And tell us a bit about that song.
Love So Soft is basically how I feel my man makes me feel. Like I've already felt like a very sexy, confident individual, but my husband has a really great knack for making me feel 100% more, all of that. He's just like a great husband. He's a great lover. He's a great father. He's just a great man. So it's nice to, I don't know, it's kind of that song that sets the bar for, you know, single isn't that bad. Single can be fun, man. You could do what you want with your time and money. You know, you can see the world and not have to worry about anything else. And it's a, you know, being single can be a very selfish life and egocentric, but it can also be a very fulfilling life. So I don't feel like you should really, you know, trade that in for a relationship unless that relationship heightens your humanity and makes you a better person at the end of the day, and it just brings a different kind of value to your life. So my husband does that for me, and I feel like Love So Soft kind of explains that sexy side of it.
And when you played it to him for the first time, how did he feel?
Oh, my husband, it was so funny to see a cowboy, because he's a straight up cowboy, to see a cowboy, a white cowboy, dance to this song, to Love So Soft, is pretty awesome. When he's feeling himself, it's pretty great. So he loves it though. He loves the chorus. He loves the sassiness of it. I think my husband is obviously, he's attracted to very confident women. So, well, the one woman right now, but but I just mean in the past, he's attracted to a confident individual. So.
And can you already tell what's going to be the next single?
We're not sure about the next single. It's such a weird time when you put out music now, because you think you have an idea of what the next single will be, and then you kind of see what everybody's gravitating towards, whether it's streaming or what they're downloading. Like, it's a different way to kind of gauge, you know, how you put your singles out now. Like, from the 15 years I've been in the business, it's a different mentality. And a different kind of equation about that. So we have a couple ideas, but we're not quite certain where we're going to go yet.
And you've also been on The Voice in the US.
Yeah.
Do you feel for the people, you know, their nervousness?
Yeah, you know, I'm involved now with The Voice in the US, and I mean, I kind of have been for years, because my husband manages Blake Shelton, who's been on The Voice from the beginning in the US, and I've been on and off the show a lot, and I mean, obviously I came from, you know, winning a contest and a talent show. So I don't think there's many people that can get that and wrap their head around all that pressure and all that entails better than someone who's been in their shoes. So it's a really, I don't, kind of selfishly, it's a cool thing to be a part of, because I feel like I'm paying it forward a bit. Like, and that's my goal, is to like help artists that aren't possibly me, and then maybe they, you know, have a career and from it, and you get to be a part of that. That's a pretty cool, you know, bookend, I think, to how I began my career.
And what's actually next on your agenda? Is there a tour coming up? Are you coming back to Europe soon?
We are planning a world tour. We've actually got some places already routed, but we're kind of confined to, because I'm the coach on I'm another coach on The Voice for the next season. So we do have to kind of play around that schedule a bit. So we are planning a world tour. We're going to have a world tour. We just don't know exactly when that's going to be yet because of scheduling. But this album is, I mean, I feel like it's an incredible album on its own, but I feel like it's even better live. It's just because of the horns, the singers, just the musicianship, that just the vibe of the album is a completely different feeling when you hear it live. So I'm excited to give people that.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush was definitely Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. I thought he was just the sexiest thing ever. I didn't know what sexy meant when I was a kid, but I knew that I was like, he's cool. I was like, I want to hang out with that guy.
Next question would be, did you already lie today?
Lie? No, I'm not. I have a really big problem of being blunt. I'm not real filtered, if you haven't noticed over the years. I don't mind like a little white lie, you know, and someone says, do I look fat in this? I mean, at that point you're already out and you're already wearing it. So it's like, I don't want to make you feel like you're just like totally freaking out in your head the whole day about it. So I don't mind a little white lie, but I don't tend to lie a lot. I think that it just sounds like a burden more than helpful. So.
And last question would be, what was the last photo you took with your mobile phone?
The last picture I took on my phone was with our friend Ava, our nanny. One of them, we were taking a picture at a Holocaust memorial thing, she and Allie, our other nanny, they were like, I don't want to be alone in the picture. Like, so I just hopped in and that was on my phone.
So thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah.
And hopefully seeing you very soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.